Slavery in America began in 1619 when the first African slaves were brought to the American colony in Jamestown, Virginia. And their purpose was to use them for crops such as tobacco production on the farm. And African Americans were the cheapest and most plentiful labor source at that time, so it spread all over the colonies. And they were often, the slaves were bought by foreign owners through slave trade, and these slaves were prohibited from education and restriction. They had restrictions for behavior and movements. So basically, they had no freedom, and they were treated like animals. And it was only from the 1830s when some movements stood up to abolish slavery. So my question from that real-life situation is, to what extent has racial equality improved compared to the period of slave trade in the United States? And to answer this question, I used the effective Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech. And then, so Martin Luther King Jr. was an African-American Baptist minister and social activist who worked for abolishment of racial inequality. And on August 28, 1963, he organized a historical march through Washington, D.C. And on the same day, he presented his I Have a Dream speech. And he gathered 200,000 people in front of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. And in this speech, he said, "I have a dream that my 4 children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character." And his speech and this demonstration changed people's opinions about the Jim Crow laws, which were racial discrimination laws, and the way African Americans were treated in the United States. And these rebellions or oppositions against racial discrimination led to the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which ordered the federal government to outlaw discrimination in public. And therefore, Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech led to the government interfering restrictions of racial discrimination. So therefore, I think that racial equality improved to a large extent compared to the period of slave trade, because acts were passed and movements existed against the racial inequality. But however, I feel that this is dependent upon perspective, because some African Americans may feel that, like, although maybe physically the way they are treated has improved, but as like their positions in society, some African Americans may feel that they're still segregated, or racial segregation still exists, and it hasn't really changed from the past. But as a non-African American person, you personally don't know how the African Americans are feeling, therefore you would think that it has improved largely. And this is my situation, because I'm not an African American. I feel that their situation has become a lot better than before. And then from answering this question, I came up with another knowledge question, which is it possible to end racial discrimination in the United States? And in order to answer this question, I examined 3 real-life situations. So the first one is when the white police shot an unarmed African American teenager. I'm sorry, I just. And then his name is Michael Brown, and he was shot by police officer Darren Wilson on August 9, 2014, and in Ferguson, Missouri. The police officer who shot Michael claimed that Michael started hitting his face, and then he after the police officer accused Michael and his friend of robbery, and apparently Wilson, the police officer, he also claims that Michael charged at him as he reached for his pocket, and when Michael charged, as Michael was charging at him, the police officer automatically thought that Michael was taking his gun out when he reached for his pocket because he felt life threatened, and after the body was taken away, it was discovered that Michael Brown wasn't actually carrying a gun. It was just it was caused by the preconceptions of the police officer that had African American men often carry guns and they're violent. So the stereotypical image of black men led to the police officer shooting Michael Brown, although he didn't have the gun with him because he just assumed that he had the gun. And another example is the black and Latino women scientists being mistaken as janitors. So 100% of the 60 scientists interviewed in 2015 revealed that they have experiences involving racial discrimination and biased attitudes. And so 48% of black and 46.9% Latino women scientists have been mistaken as administrative or custodial staff. And more than 75% of the African American women scientists feel that they need to work a lot harder than anyone else and they cannot make a single mistake. And more than any other race, African American women feel the most isolated in their workplaces. I think that it came from the stereotype that African American and Latino women often work as janitors or custodial staff, and they're often not in a higher position within workplaces. And my last related situation is when Harvard University was accused of bias against Asian Americans. And so they got complaints from 64 organizations saying that the university set up limits to Asian American admission in May 2015. And research shows that Asian Americans have to score an average about 140 points higher than white students, and 270 points higher than Hispanic students, and 450 points higher than African American students on their SAT scores in order to be accepted in Harvard. And Harvard claims that they do this in order to have equal chances to gain admission to Harvard. But I think that this is not only a racial discrimination to Asian Americans, but also to the other racial groups as well, because this indicates that Harvard is saying that non-Asian Americans are less intelligent than Asian Americans. And I think that this is caused by the stereotype that Asians are smart. And I think that all these three real-life situations are a result of stereotypes based on reason, imagination, and memory. And I think that unless people get rid of their preconceptions towards certain racial groups, racial discrimination is never going to stop, especially in the United States ethnic diversity. And a stereotype is defined, on a dictionary, a stereotype is defined as a widely held but fixed and oversimplified image of or an idea of a particular type of person. And I think that therefore people may argue that stereotypes are not the only reason of racial discrimination, because they might believe that someone's emotion towards a certain racial group is affected by his or her background through personal experiences, such as traumas. However, I think when individuals use their personal image or reputation of a racial group based on their personal experiences to judge a person, they're using stereotypes. So I think that their stereotypes do not have to be widely held. And so, although depending on the definition of stereotype, even if people get rid of their stereotypes, racial discrimination is never going to end. Therefore, although I think that developments were made in racial equality, but racial discrimination cannot be eradicated unless stereotypes of different racial groups are abolished.